Thank you so much. So I would like to extend to you all an incredibly warm welcome for joining us here today as we celebrate our climate commitment. We're 2 years in, and it's an opportune time for us to do a little reflection and celebrating. Our climate commitment and our Office of Climate and Sustainability is committed to both cultural and institutional change on our campus, broadly writ. This is deep and painstaking work that is measured in years, not months. So it requires both patience and a steadfast sense of purpose. So I am very excited to be with you today so that we can, all together, celebrate the incredibly hard work and progress that has taken place over the last 2 years since we launched our Duke Climate Commitment right here in Page Auditorium. To get this party started, it gives me great pleasure to introduce President Price, the 10th president of Duke University, and our believer-in-chief for the Duke Climate Commitment. Vince?
Well, thank you, Toddy, and good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin by thanking you all for being here to celebrate this exciting moment in Duke's history. I'd especially like to recognize Executive Vice President Emeritus Talman Trask and Norm Christensen, founding Dean of the Nicholas School of the Environment, who have joined us for this special occasion. It's wonderful to have you here. So as Toddy said, 2 years ago, we gathered right here in Page Auditorium to announce the Duke Climate Commitment. And through the Duke Climate Commitment, we are connecting every part of our enterprise: teaching, scholarship, campus operations, and engagement with our neighbors here in Durham and around the world, all in service of the goal of creating sustainable and equitable solutions that will place our society on the path to a resilient, flourishing, net zero carbon world. And Toddy Steelman, Brian Murray, Director of the Nicholas Institute for Energy, Environment, and Sustainability, Tavy Capps, Executive Director of Climate and Sustainability, all worked to lead the early planning for our climate commitment. They continue to work in very close partnership following Toddy's transition to a full-time role as Vice President and Vice Provost of Climate and Sustainability, with responsibility for leading all aspects of the climate commitment. Toddy will return to the podium in just a few minutes to say more about the progress we've made over the past 2 years and where we're headed in the future. But Duke's commitment to climate and sustainability most certainly did not begin in 2022. It dates back easily to the 1930s and the founding of Duke Forest, the Marine Laboratory, and the School of Forestry, all of which joined later to become the Nicholas School of the Environment. And since then, Duke has been home to faculty members across many, many disciplines whose research is advancing climate solutions at the local, the national, and the global levels. And we train thousands of students and alumni who are implementing creative, scientifically informed, just, and responsible solutions here in North Carolina and around the globe. In 2007, we took a major step forward when my predecessor, Dick Broadhead, signed the American College and University President's Climate Commitment, pledging to achieve carbon neutrality in our university's operations by 2024. Now, in order to reach this ambitious goal, Dick and Executive Vice President Emeritus Talman Trask appointed Tavy Capps to manage our campus-wide sustainability efforts. And thanks to their leadership and the support of so many others, and the dedicated and sustained efforts by individuals and groups across the entirety of our campus, Duke has achieved an important milestone in our journey to demonstrate how universities can lead the way in becoming more sustainable. We are among the first universities in America to achieve carbon neutrality. Our work will not end here. In many ways, our work is just beginning. After this year, we're setting our sights on a new net zero commitment that incorporates the health system and a new sustainability plan that includes waste, water, transportation, and food. It's quite fitting, I think, that we are reaching this critical milestone and setting a new and ambitious goal during Duke's centennial year. Today's ceremony and celebration will highlight members of the Duke community who are champions of sustainability and climate work that will help write the story of our next 100 years. I'm incredibly grateful to all of you for the many ways you're engaged in our climate commitment, and I'm very pleased now to welcome back to the podium Toddy Steelman. Thank you.
Thank you, President Price. Climate change is the biggest challenge facing the planet. And we will be judged by future generations about the actions that we take now. The news is not really great. 73% of the vertebrate species that existed in 1970 are now extinct. We have made progress bending the curve on global temperatures, but not enough. We need to be on a 1.5 degree trajectory, and we are closer to a 3-degree trajectory by mid-century. But lucky for us because we have never lived in a more consequential time, because we can actually do something about it. We live in the most innovative and creative country in the world, and we are privileged to work and study at one of the best universities. We experience freedoms and opportunities that are absolutely inconceivable in many other parts of the world. And we are fortunate to have the opportunity to contribute to the massive challenge before us. To this end, our climate commitment is a widespread invitation to absolutely everybody in our Duke community to become involved. It is an invitation to our faculty, to our students, to our alumni, and to our partners to become involved. Our goals are lofty because they have to be. When it comes to education, our theory of change is that climate fluency leads to climate leadership. We will train and empower the next generation of climate leaders, and our goal is to achieve a highly advanced level of climate fluency by 2028. Our undergraduate entering class by 2028 should have a high degree of climate fluency. We want every major to be a climate major because this is how universities can have impact at scale through our thousands of students and our alumni. This year, we are piloting in Sanford, Pratt, and Nursing a way to achieve that climate fluency. On the research front, Duke faculty have been at the forefront of groundbreaking research for decades. They have been pioneering insights about how forests capture carbon and adapt to climate change, participating in climate diplomacy. They have been reframing climate change to be more salient because we now understand it as having consequences for human health. Recent innovations that are taking place right now on our campus include materials science, innovations in insurance markets, energy management systems, ecosystem conservation technology, and plant science. All of this means we are actively tackling how the world adapts to and becomes more resilient and equitable in the face of climate change. Our faculty all across campus are engaging as partners to ensure equitable distribution of climate solutions benefiting communities both here in Durham and far beyond. Our goal is to make the Southeast an incubator of climate research with global impact. One example of this is in Clinton, North Carolina, where Duke hydrologist Ryan Emanuel is partnering with members of the Coharie tribe to demonstrate how climate science and indigenous knowledge can both inform just and resilient solutions in the Great Coharie River. The tribe depends on this river for both fishing, commerce, and recreation. On the operations front, we know that a sustainable campus will lead to a sustainable world. Through investments in our university-wide efforts, we're demonstrating how a sustainable campus can do just this. It's important that we walk the walk in how we live our values. This translates not just to our pledge to become carbon neutral, but as President Price has mentioned, to demonstrate how we can create more sustainable waste, transportation, water, food, and procurement systems. Tavi's going to talk more about this immediately after me. When it comes to external engagement, we are also creating better decisions and policy making for all during these times of great political polarization. By informing and convening on campus, in our community, and outside in the external world, we can bring together decision makers who create better decisions and policy for systemic change. We have done this most recently through convenings in climate policy and finance in New York City during Climate Week just last month. Last year in our Billions to Trillions event, which is trying to leverage the investments, the considerable investments, $376 billions of dollars of investments in the IRA, and create trillions of dollars investment that will be necessary for the energy transition. We have held symposia on climate migration, sustainable infrastructure, heat policy, and risk science for climate resilience. In bringing people together, both on campus and off, we stand the chance of creating the change we want to see in society at large. Next month, we will have another symposium on critical resources, minerals, and materials. When it comes to our community partnerships, we are partnering with our neighbors and communities on research, teaching, and engaged projects throughout Durham, across North Carolina, and beyond. Emily Bernhardt has been working with the Ellerbe Creek Watershed Association for the last many years through both Climate Plus projects and Bass Connections. Our Duke Campus Farm provides fresh farmed produce for a variety of community partners throughout Durham. Kay Jowers leads our Just Environments program that focuses on state regulatory policy to deal with equity issues. Our mission is to activate Duke's absolute greatest resource, and that's you, our people. We want to model the role that higher education can play in addressing the climate challenge, because again, this is how institutions of higher education can have impact at scale. If we lead the way and demonstrate how it can be done, we will get other institutions to join us, and as an entire sector, we can have greater impact together. We want Duke to be known for climate and sustainability, the same way that Stanford and MIT are known for tech and engineering, and Penn Wharton is known for finance. When you think of Duke, we want you to think of climate and sustainability. So I get to wake up every single day excited about the work I get to do through the Office of Climate and Sustainability and for Duke. I'm really proud that I get to do this work on behalf of all of you. I'm now going to turn it over to Tavi to speak more in depth about our carbon neutrality goals and progress. And I want to say thank you so much for joining us today in this great celebration of work that has taken place over so many years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toddy. Thank you, Vince. All right. Before I talk a little bit about Duke's sustainable operations, we also wanted to take this moment to share an event that started last fall when a delegation went to Duke's international campus in Kunshan, China. We were able to meet many of the extraordinary students at DKU and the faculty and staff that are really just like here in Durham, walking the walk. And we had students with us the whole time and students from Duke that wanted to provide a gift to our DKU counterparts. So we brought an arts-based gift of pictures of the Duke Gardens that was prepared by the Duke Nature Arts group here on campus. We exchanged this gift with the DKU students when we were there in China, and they have sent back a DKU sustainability scrapbook that has stories and pictures of sustainability efforts at DKU and beyond their campus. Art can really be a conduit for thinking about climate change and thinking about how we honor the beauty and hope that we see in our natural world. This gift is an exchange of students between DKU and the Durham campus. It really invites connections and collaboration that we all need to find community in the challenging times that we find ourselves in. This scrapbook is going to be part of the university archives that can be used for research or viewed here on campus. And we have DKU students here who are students in the Nicholas program here to exchange the gift back with our Duke Nature Arts program. So if I can invite up Gabrielle Campos, a 2024 graduate of the Nick School and a member of our Duke Nature Arts student group, and Chloe Brenner, our Duke class of 2025 and our current president of the Undergraduate Environmental Union, and Aisha Shen, a current Nick School MEM who was a Green Devil here on campus when she was at Duke, and the project director for the Sustainable DKU student group that created the scrapbook. Thank you guys so much. And thank you all for being here tonight. This is such an amazing event, and it's wonderful to see so many people and so many old friends that we haven't seen in a while, and really honor the people who have made this effort happen. Just before we celebrate these change makers, I want to take a minute to reflect back on the 17 years of Duke's carbon neutrality history. And if you indulge me a little bit of personal journey that has brought me here too. This work at Duke would not be possible without the individuals that have really made this happen and made it personal to themselves. So as a kid, I grew up in the woods of Maine, no running water, no electricity, and part-time on a sailboat in the Virgin Islands. My parents were hippies that moved back to the land in the 70s, so this was really normal life for me. We grew our own food, we composted, we thought about our interaction with nature. And I think really that and several other formative experiences really brought me to Duke's Sustainability Office 18 years ago. Duke's Sustainability Office, the first director was a student who graduated from Duke. He was really active as an undergrad and lobbied Tallman for a real job when he graduated. And really, embraced that spirit of really a dual relationship, I think, of student and faculty and staff grassroots passion and university senior leadership that understood the need to invest in this work. Duke's carbon neutrality journey started in 2007, as Vince mentioned, when we signed the President's climate commitment. And we were working from the very beginning to make sure that this was not siloed in one part of campus. We created a campus sustainability committee with faculty, staff, and students to really help guide and advise that effort. And the achievement of Duke's 2024 carbon neutrality goal is a direct result of these people across campus that have invested their time and energy to make the commitment real and to make it personal. Some of the faces you see up here tonight are some of the original leaders of our campus sustainability committee. Tallman Trask and Bill Shamides, one of the former deans of the Nicholas School, were the inaugural co-chairs. And then other members of our Duke community were subcommittee chairs focused on some of the key areas of our climate action plan. For energy, transportation, carbon offsets, education, and communication. These leaders, working with the sustainability team, the rest of the faculty and staff of students in our sustainability committee and across Duke, have really infused campus and sustainability efforts across our institution. This type of change doesn't work if it comes from one office, a few people, one area of campus. It really has to be part of the fabric of the institution. I would also like to give special thanks to the Facilities Management Department here at Duke. The leaders of this work, John Noonan, Russell Thompson, Steve Palumbo, and Casey Collins, have really taken to heart Duke's carbon neutrality goals, and they, with the rest of the hundreds of facilities workers across Duke, make this happen every day in our buildings, across campus, making sure that we're cool in the summer and warm in the winter, and that our campus is beautiful, and we run this small city. We know that these achievements are part of the daily routine of these individuals, but we also know that this effort wouldn't have happened without their leadership and their commitment. Our overall energy emissions have been reduced 42% since 2007. This is despite the campus growing by 3 million gross square feet. These numbers will continue to decrease in the next several years as a large-scale solar project comes online and as we continue to invest in utility and infrastructure efficiency. Duke would not be at this milestone without their leadership and their investment in this goal. So please join me in thanking them. Transportation has been more challenging. We saw significant reduction during the pandemic, but our campus, as I mentioned, is growing. We've grown in space, we've grown about 25% in campus population, and our campus community is living twice as far away from Duke and commuting to campus. We've seen our drive-alone rate come down significantly since when we first started looking at this. It was around 77%, now it's 50%. I think a lot of the lessons learned from COVID and remote work support have really led to that, but we know that there's a long way to go. And we continue to work with our partners and Duke's Office of Parking and Transportation to support alternatives and incentives and really think about creative strategies for how we address commuting and air travel. Many of our peer institutions don't include these emissions in their carbon neutrality goals, recognizing how challenging it is for universities to really have control over these emissions. Overall, if you look at Duke's emissions, we have reduced by about 31% since 2007, adding that 3 million gross square feet. This is a result in a deep investment in utility infrastructure and many different operational aspects across campus. It's also been with its challenges. Our solar project has been delayed several years due to supply chain issues with COVID. We've had other low carbon technologies that we've investigated that didn't pan out the way we wanted, but we kept moving and we kept trying to innovate. We've met this goal as planned with a combination of on-campus reductions and high-quality carbon offsets. With such an early term goal, offsets were always part of the conversation in Duke's climate plan. Since the inception of the Duke Carbon Offsets Initiative and its founding director, Tanya Voigt, who is with us here today, we wanted to catalyze and really test the market, learn from what we could develop in terms of carbon offsets, and engage students and faculty in that work. We have done this in lots of different project types. This is just a sample up here in Durham and across the globe. As we neared 2024, we transitioned to really looking at verified, high-quality, registered offsets that we knew we would apply to 2024 and without a doubt reduce emissions outside of Duke's boundaries. Many of our peers are now coming to Duke to seek our offset knowledge and learn from the work that we've been doing for almost 2 decades. But even as we celebrate this milestone, as I think Toddy and Vince both alluded to, we know the work isn't done. We are expanding to a new next generation climate plan that will include more parts of our campus and our health system and other key topics like transportation and waste. But even as we renew our Duke climate commitment and think about research and operations and teaching and external engagement and community partnerships, we know that we will continue to do this work and continue to expand our efforts. Our new Office of Climate and Sustainability is a small but mighty team of 12 right now, with other units that are a part of us. The forest, the farm, the gardens, and the Nicholas Institute has a dotted line to this group. We'll be leading, shepherding, and supporting this work across campus, along with so many other people. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate this achievement and the work that has been happening over the past 17 years, building on the foundations that started from really the inception of Duke, to honor the people that have been doing this work and will continue to do this work across campus, the people that are making it personal here in their daily lives and what they're teaching, what they're learning, what they're researching, and ensuring that Duke meets and exceeds our climate and sustainability goals. So I would like to invite Jason Elliott, a member of our campus or climate and sustainability team, and actually the maestro between this event tonight, to the stage to start our awards ceremony. Thank you.
This is literally my favorite activity that I get to do every year, because I get to hear from people all across the campus, including the university, including the health system, who are doing work sometimes I don't even know about, which is something as a wonderful gift to realize that the people are so passionate about climate sustainability on campus without even having to be asked. We received more nominations this year than we ever have in the past, which made it a very difficult task for us to actually narrow those down. And I was not able to really come up with 10 people. I went to 19. So thank you. We're going to be talking about a lot of really amazing folks on campus today. A little bit of housekeeping. We're going to be inviting President Price and Toddy Steelman to be on the stage to help give out the awards, as well as take a photo with our winners. If you are a winner, please come to this side of the stage and start walking up, and then you will exit on that side of the stage. Jared Lazarus will be taking photos right here in front of the banner. And so without further ado, let's get started. So John Noonan has been one of the biggest champions of climate sustainability on campus. He has been here for 20 years working in facilities and leading facilities efforts for the past 13 of those years. He oversees a workforce of around 600 staff who are responsible for making this campus run on a daily basis. Noonan and his team lead numerous operations for the university and areas of the health system, including capital project planning and coordination of design, renewal, and construction, as well as operation and maintenance for facilities, landscaping, utilities and engineering, and environmental services. During his tenure, John has led the facilities department towards making an outstanding impact on campus. Some accomplishments include shepherding the transformation of university's energy infrastructure to support Duke's clinical, research, and teaching missions, developing and implementing Duke's high-performance building framework in 2019 to establish building standards that go beyond LEED on campus, reducing water usage on campus through water efficiency upgrades in campus buildings, including the water reclamation pond, which saves us 100 million gallons of potable water each year, reducing Duke's energy-related emissions by nearly 45% since 2007, eliminating the use of coal on campus in 2011, maintaining Duke's high-efficiency utility systems, always honoring the university and the forest aesthetic of the campus, and dozens of other things. While John will be retiring in May, his imprint on this university campus will be long-lasting, especially with regards to prioritizing Duke's climate commitment and the scope of his team's efforts. John's conscientious and steady stewardship of Duke University over the year is key to Duke's success, and so please join me in celebrating John for his leadership. The next person we have Ashley Ward, who's the director of the Heat Policy Innovation Hub at the Nicholas Institute for Energy, Environment, and Sustainability, nominated by Brian Murray, the director of Nicholas Institute. Ashley spearheads the Nicholas Institute's Heat Policy Innovation Hub, which was launched in 2023. The hub connects the clinical expertise of schools of medicine and nursing, as well as the interdisciplinary expertise on the university side in Pratt, Nicholas, Duke Global Health Institute, and Sanford. In 2024, the hub hosted the HeatWise Policy Partnership Summit, which convened more than 100 leaders from across different sectors and parts of the country for 3 days to identify ways to make communities more heat resilient. It also brought together executives from leading financial and insurance companies, high-ranking federal and state officials, foundation officers, and Duke faculty. The urgency of this extreme heat challenge is undeniable, causing devastating impacts in community across the nation and the world. And I'm glad we have Ashley's leadership to work on this very important issue. Please join me in celebrating Ashley Ward. There's probably something in the water at the Nicholas Institute because we have a next two individuals who are also from the Nicholas Institute. Katie Warnell, the Senior Policy Associate at the Nicholas Institute, and Lydia Olander, Program Director at the Nicholas Institute, were nominated also by Brian Murray. Katie and Lydia, in partnership with the Nature Conservancy, secured a very large $421 million federal grant to advance nature-based solutions for climate resilience and mitigation. The Climate Pollution Reduction Grant from the US EPA will support the Atlantic Conservation Coalition's conservation and restoration efforts over more than 200,000 acres of coastal habitats, forest, farmland in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. The coalition estimates that the suite of projects will reduce greenhouse gases by 28 million metric tons. Tavy said like 250,000 for Duke. We're talking about a huge number there. While also providing numerous other benefits for local communities and the ecosystems that they are working in. Experts from the Nicholas Institute worked with coalition partners to on the development of the proposal. Going forward, the Nicholas Institute will lead reporting on the progress of the 21 coalition projects and their benefits. Please join me in celebrating Lydia and Katie's wonderful efforts. And one more for the Nicholas Institute. Kay Jowers, the director of the Just Environments and Nicholas Institute, who was mentioned earlier in Toddy's remarks, nominated by Kendra Rentz, who was unable to make it today, but an undergraduate student in Trinity. Kay's work focuses on analyzing state regulatory and policy approaches to addressing environmental issues and engages with environmental equity, ethics, and justice in particular. Kendra, who's unable to be here, shared a really wonderful statement that I will be reading. Dr. Jowers is a testament to the power of ethical community engagement and unwavering dedication to environmental justice advocacy. As the director of the Environmental Justice Lab at Duke, her leadership goes far beyond her formal title. She is truly one of a kind, inspiring those who have the privilege to work with her or be her student. Her passion has left and will continue to leave a lasting impact at Duke and beyond. Please join me in congratulating Kay for her work that truly embodies the spirit of the climate commitment. This next group is probably the largest group of nominees that we've ever received. So I'm going to start reading some names. This is for Duke Nature: Gabrielle Campos, Ella Andanoff, Emma Brenchens, Grace Chen, Larry Chen, Sophie Cox, Gabby Sharnick, Andrew Dominguez, Caitlin Leary, Michelle Ling, Aditi Jackson, Madeline Menkes, Emily Nagamoto, Chelsea Nielsen, Shambhavi Sinha, Zhou-Wen Yu, Willow Kaplan, Ziyi Chen, Emma Childs, Lily Weiss, Alex Urbina, Justin Gulino, Ellen Nierenblatt, Brandon Hayes, Jordan Haber, and Juan Camilo Moreno Ramos. All are associated with Duke. And like we mentioned as we were passing off, there's also a large contingent of folks from DKU who, for obvious reasons, can't be here right now. Luan Qian, Shutian Chen, Kenshin Liu, Letian Wang, Shijie Wu, Yifei Gao, Jiaming Sun, Yifei Han, Changchen Guo, Junyan Li, Wenxin Dong, Junji Zheng, Shuji Shao, Yinan Wang, Tong Yu, Mei Yi Guo, Qishuang Qiu, and Shen Shen. And they were nominated by Miguel Rojas Sotelo, the Adjunct Professor for International Studies, and Kai Kelly Jr., Assistant Director of Entertainment, Media, and Arts Career Community at the Career Center. Their nomination, Duke Nature exists as the fulfilled dream and aspiration of one student looking to engage their peers and build community around a distinct and unique landscape that gives Duke its renowned identity. Gabriel Campos and his team co-collaborated with institutional stakeholders such as Duke Arts, Duke Career Center, Duke Forest, Marine Lab, Duke Kunshan University, and many others that we cannot name all right now. They've hosted 20+ events and programs, both domestic here at Duke as well as abroad, and brought this historic work to the forefront to celebrate and inspire a shared and continued dedication to Duke's climate commitment. Visionary peers in Duke's University's infancy envisioned an institution that would not only hold space for nature, but actively embrace it in order to learn and grow. Today, Duke stands as a testament to that vision. Spanning 9,000 acres, Duke University meticulously stewards its natural environments, encompassing the diverse landscapes of Duke Forest, Duke Gardens, Duke Marine Lab, and the diverse ecosystem of West, East, and Central campuses. This stewardship of natural resources has guided an environmentally conscious university, which today commits itself towards addressing climate solutions through the inception of the exemplary climate commitment. As we commemorate the centennial of Duke University, it is our collective aim to celebrate Duke's astounding natural places and the extraordinary efforts made by our community to build a sustainable Earth. Please join me in celebrating this amazing group of students. Do you want to tighten up? Thank you. Yeah. Next, I would like to invite up Mark Borsuk and Will Ferris for their work with Resile and CIRCAD. They're nominated by Lydia Olander. Mark and Will have invested a tremendous amount of time and resources to build signature climate initiatives including Resile, which is Risk Science for Climate Resilience, and CIRCAD, the Center for Innovation in Risk Analysis and Climate Adaptation and Decision Making. Through these programs, they have convened experts across the globe, including academia, government, and insurance and finance industries, to develop innovative resilience-based solutions to a changing climate. On campus, they've hosted a cohort of MUSER students to support multiple projects in order to engage students in this important climate-related research, hosted a summit in 2024 to grow our reach on campus, and co-launched a podcast with the Nicholas Institute called Circadian Wisdom. They are true champions of the students they tirelessly advocate and educate on behalf of their collaborative nature, and they always make sure to give the agency and respect necessary to develop students into independent researchers. Please join me in celebrating the accomplishments of these two amazing leaders. Great, thank you. The next winner we have is Anna Wallace, the Student Engagement Manager for Duke Arts. She was nominated by two people separately, which is always amazing to see. Jules Odendahl James, who's the Director of Engagement for Duke Arts, and Frances Howarth, who's the Director of Marketing and Communications for Duke Arts. In just the first few months of joining Duke Arts, Anna sought about transforming unit processes through sustainability. Duke Arts hosts an array of events with hospitality and/or catering dimensions, and Anna's knowledge base about sustainability practices of vendors from food prep and service to ingredient purchasing, campus and off-campus resources for composting and waste, and her general impetus to model and educate through the events have been incredibly invaluable to Duke Arts. In the Duke Arts Create workshop space, she made sure to bring artists and teachers into awareness, but also make sure that they collaborate with experts already attentive to sustainability and their practices. Some of the next steps we hope we'll take as a unit will require collaboration outside of our office, and Anna has already built a range of connectivity with campus partners, including Duke Campus Farm, Duke Gardens, the Office of Climate Sustainability, Sustainability and Climate Applied Learning Program, Duke Forest, and Duke Facilities. To keep thinking about how Duke art programs and events can continue to build their own infrastructure regarding sustainability and how we might work with these partners to build new pathways forward. Please join me in celebrating Anna and her amazing leadership in Duke Arts. This next winner also received 2 nominations, Amy Kenyon, who is the Director of Special Projects for Duke Learning Innovation and Lifetime Education. Amy is deeply committed to living a sustainable lifestyle and is a leader at Lyle when it comes to guiding us in sustainable best practices. When we host events, she's meticulous in ensuring we are doing the best to make them eco-friendly. From hiring local caterers who use compostable materials, to following up with other groups to see if they can use any leftover materials for upcoming events that they may be hosting, and even sometimes bringing her own compostable bags and taking them home to make sure things get composted properly. Amy is a key contributor in Duke's Climate and Sustainability Teaching Fellows program as well, which aims to foster systems thinking in faculty from across the university, inviting them to explore the connections of climate change and sustainable solutions within their subject areas. Amy's actions embody the spirit of Duke's sustainability efforts. She not only practices living sustainably herself, but actively encourages and enables others to do the same. Her efforts have raised awareness about sustainability issues among our staff and have led to the tangible changes in our office practices and for our events for faculty, staff, and students. By recognizing Amy with this award, we are not only acknowledging her personal contributions, but also reinforcing the importance of individual action in achieving our broader sustainability goals. Amy's dedication serves as an inspiration and a reminder to each of us that we have the power to make a difference in creating a more sustainable world. Please join me in celebrating Amy Kenyon. This is another big team. This is from Facilities University Environmental Services team for their work on making Duke University Green Seal certified. The team includes Leslie Cornegay, Joshua Eaton, Pamela Bell Jones, Wayne King, Jackie Little, Erica Standers, Rashawn Bright, Vicki McCaden, Christina Thompson Hardy, William McKnight, Vernon Garner, Snowdine Harris, Zulma Vasquez Moreno, William Brown, Judy Evans, Joseph Garrett, Curtis Bright, Carlos Borland, Butch Beeks, and Barry Burnett. They were nominated by Vanessa Roth, who is the Director of Strategic Initiatives for Facilities, and Evan Heisman, who is the Communication and Support Services Manager for Facilities. One of the hardest working departments on campus is this organization, University Environmental Services. They keep over 140 buildings on campus clean and functioning every single day, and often you never see them because they're doing a lot of work at night when we are not here. As a part of their dedication to their work, they have spent the past year and a half working towards making Duke the second university in North Carolina and 9th in the nation to achieve Green Seal certification for housekeeping practices. Green Seal is the leading certification across the globe for sustainable cleaning, and it is not a small lift. Each housekeeping staff in Granger Hall, the first building that we adopted this process fully, went through very rigorous training and will continue to be training the staff across the university. It also requires aligning our processes and practices across the university, and that is not an easy lift. There's a very long binder with all the materials in it. According to Leslie, achieving this certification highlights their dedication to being sustainable in all aspects of their work, protecting human health, and ensuring clean water and minimizing waste. Please join me in celebrating their monumental accomplishment. Thank you. This next winner, Denise Nepveux, Associate Professor in the Department of Orthopedic Surgery in the School of Medicine, was nominated by Lindy Norman, Administrative Manager in the Department of Orthopedic Surgery. Climate is not usually the first adjective that comes to mind when thinking about the mission of occupational therapy or orthopedic surgery. However, Dr. Nepveux has led faculty, staff, and students to consider the intersections of sustainability and the impact of climate change in their everyday lives and their clients and patients. Denise has also invested her time and expertise across the pillars of the climate commitment. Just a few examples of her vast work include, in education, she has led faculty members in the Duke AHEAD-funded pilot course Introduction to Climate and Health for Health Professionals. She also partnered with Keep Durham Beautiful, the Duke Campus Farm, and North Carolina Wildlife Federation to create student quality improvement projects focused on understanding and sustaining volunteer involvement in environmental sustainability, food systems, and biodiversity work. In research, she is developing an inaugural systematic mapping review of how climate change and sustainability are represented in an occupational therapy literature to better understand the needs of the field going forward. And then in community partnerships, Dr. Nepveux served on the program committee for the NC Farm Worker Institute, creating a climate and health program to bring 150 members of the farm worker policy and direct service communities to learn about climate realities in North Carolina. Dr. Nepveux participates in the Carolina Advocates for Climate Change, Health, and Equity Working Group, where she is also an active example in creating inspiration for her colleagues to not only practice a more sustainable lifestyle, but also to find ways to incorporate it into their profession. Please join me in celebrating Denise as an exemplar of Duke's climate commitment. These next two winners are faculty from the Nicholas School of the Environment, and both of them are unable to attend because they're literally presenting the work that they were nominated for, which is always great. Love it. The first one is Nishad Jayasundara. He is the Julie Plant Granger Assistant Professor of Global Environmental Health, the Assistant Professor of Environmental Toxicology and Health, and Assistant Research Professor of Global Health and Assistant Professor in Medicine. How he does it, nobody knows. Nishad's research focus on health and the environment and his internationally recognized scholarship, enthusiastic mentoring, local and global outreach efforts, and collaborative spirit attest to his exceptional commitment to the core tenets of Duke's climate commitment. Along with being a professor and researcher in kidney health, Nishad wears many other hats beyond just teaching, including being a founder and co-director of a Sri Lanka-based not-for-profit initiative to advance public health and policy, and being a co-founder of a triangle-based interdisciplinary and multi-institutional environmental exposures and kidney health interest group, where he hosted gatherings in 2023 and 24 to identify the key questions facing the field of research and engage international leaders in this domain. Nishad's long-standing interest in effects of environmental exposures, including heat, on human health has developed an extensive field and laboratory-based research programs with collaborators locally, in Sri Lanka, and worldwide to examine roles of environmental determinants of chronic kidney disease, which is a very key focus in Duke's climate and health work right now. Lastly, he's an excellent educator and mentor. He is dedicated to his students and mentees and facilitates their learning about climate change. With his dedication to vulnerable communities, collaborative spirit, excellent mentorship skills, and passion for improving the environment, he's an outstanding candidate for this award. While he's not here today, I'm gonna hold your applause while I also present Drew Schendel, but really thank you, Nishad, for all of your amazing work. Drew Schendel, professor of earth science at Nicholas School of the Environment, was nominated by Lori Benier, the interim standback dean of the Nicholas School. Drew is one of the Duke's most prolific scholars in climate science, with nearly 100,000 citations. His election to the National Academies of Science in 2022 is a testament to his significant contributions to the field. Drew's research focuses on short-lived greenhouse gas pollutants, particularly methane, and his work demonstrates the critical need for significant short-term reductions in methane to meet global climate goals. His research is not only groundbreaking, it's essential for shaping climate policies. He has utilized his extensive scholarship to influence and improve climate change policies. He's also served in numerous prestigious roles, including chair of the Scientific Advisory Panel to the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, member of the Science Advisory Board at the US EPA, chair of the Global Methane Assessment, Benefits and Costs of Mitigating Methane Emissions, lead author for the UN IPCC report, and many, many other things. In addition to his research and policy work, Drew Schendel is also a dedicated educator. He teaches 2 highly popular and impactful courses, Climate and Society for Master's Environmental students, and Climate Change for Future Leaders at the undergraduate level. His teaching evaluations are overwhelmingly positive, with one student remarking, "Drew Schendel is a mecca of knowledge." He also mentors students at all levels, from undergraduate to PhD candidates, and his undergraduate lab students regularly graduate with peer-reviewed publications, which is no small feat. Dr. Schendel embodies Duke's University motto, knowledge in service to society. His contributions to climate science, policy, and education make him an exemplar candidate for this award. Tim Johnson, professor of the practice at the Nicholas School of the Environment, as well as chair of the Energy and Environment Program and senior associate dean for academic initiatives, will be receiving these awards on their behalf. We will not take a photo, but thank you so much for being here, Tim. I really appreciate it. This next winner, Sarah Oliver, Executive in Residence, Director of the Masters of Engineering in Climate and Sustainability Engineering, and Strategic Advisor on Climate Solutions to the Dean of Engineering, was nominated by Jerry Lynch, the Dean of Engineering. Sarah is a tireless leader on campus supporting the Duke climate commitment, most especially Pratt School of Engineering's contribution to the broader initiative. She's the inaugural director of Pratt School of Engineering's Master of Engineering Program in Climate Sustainability, and is also a strategic advisor to Dean Lynch. In both roles, she's a phenomenal thought leader and passionate executor who has dramatically advanced Duke's climate commitment programs. As the director of the Master's Program in Climate and Sustainability, Sarah can be credited with designing and implementing a best-in-class graduate program focused on engineering fundamentals applied to the modeling of climate change and the resource flows driving change, as well as training students in their growing set of technologies essential to mitigation and adaptation strategies. As director, she has created 4 new courses for the program, applied climate and sustainability engineering, system engineering for climate and response modeling, the materials transition from linear to circular material systems, and fundamentals of energy transitions. She has curated co-curricular programs with other campus leaders, including Professor Judy Ledley, director of the Duke Design Climate Program, and has built an expansive network of industry partnerships supporting the program. As strategic advisor to the Dean of Engineering, she also has overseen the majority of climate-related programs being undertaken as a part of the broader climate commitment. In particular, she serves on our Climate Commitment Advisory Council's Education and External Engagement subcommittees, contributes to Duke's Summer Institute in DC, as well as University 102, Let's Talk About Climate Change. Sarah is a force of nature and one of our campus's most passionate and energetic leaders driving the climate commitment forward. Her contributions to Pratt's and Duke's climate programs are a tour de force, hence I can think of no other individual better suited than Sarah. Please join me in recognizing Sarah Oliver. The next individual is Sandra Valnes-Quammen, Senior Lecturer in Romance Studies. She was nominated by Charlotte Clark, Associate Professor of the Practice Emerita at the Nicholas School of the Environment. Sandy has been a dedicated and energetic sustainability and climate champion for many years. She is one of the earliest Trillium Fellows, a Duke program to help faculty incorporate sustainability into their courses that has since grown into the Climate and Sustainability Teaching Fellows program. This past year, she was one of the lead faculty organizers of CAST, where she supported her colleagues in adapting their courses to include more climate and sustainability education. She is one of the first romance study faculty to also use the culture and languages across curriculum program to link French classes to courses on environmental science and policy, helping students learn language and environmental science concurrently. Since 2003, Sandy has served as the education subcommittee of Duke's Climate Commitment Advisory Council and has been an active member contributing to the special task forces in an effort to make climate and sustainability fluency more accessible and inviting for all academic disciplines. Finally, she is working on her PhD on the side and researching how to infuse sustainability into language instruction. So please join me in honoring Sandy and her multifaceted approach to climate fluency work. This next group is near and dear to my heart, Duke Sustainable Athletics Group, which is a student organization that includes Elena Burns, Brandon Hirsch, Sydney Tomlack, Ari Solomon, Ellie Coleman, Ethan Grimminger, Max Fort, Megan McGinnis, Noelle Fuchs, Sean Morello, and Zizi Newhard. They were nominated by Taryn Moore, Senior Associate Director for Athletics and People, Culture and Community, and Chief Diversity Officer for Duke Athletics. The Duke Sustainable Athletics Group seeks to continue pushing the needle forward in the Blue Devils' commitment to sustainability and combating climate change. The student-led group is committed to supporting and leading sustainable projects within athletics and the broader Duke community. Some of these projects include Devils Doing Good Shoe Drive, which has collected over 1,200 shoes, which are either donated to Fleet Feet in Durham, which are then distributed to communities across the world, or are recycled with with Nike's Grind program. They infuse sustainability at the training table, which is the athletics dining program, hosting sustainability trivia to educate their peers about climate sustainability, and most importantly, bringing the Bleed Blue, Live Green spirit to athletic events, including the Climate Commitment football game in November 2023 and field hockey. The founding members of DSAG, Elena Burns and Brandon Hirsch, have done such amazing work, and it resulted in them being recipients of the 2024 Billie Jean King Youth Leadership Award. Brandon Burns and Hirsch received a $2,500 grant in which they donated to Eco Athletes, a national nonprofit dedicated to equipping and identifying athletes to combat the climate crisis. Duke's Sustainable Athletics Group aims to align Duke athletics with Duke's climate commitment by uniting students, staff, resources, and education that harness the influence of athletics at Duke for the community for positive change. Please join me in welcoming these amazing leaders. Okay, we have 4 more to go. Thank you. The next winner is the Undergraduate Environmental Union, particularly its leadership, Chloe Brenner, Eugene Kim, Nikki Reed, and Coral Lin. The Undergraduate Environmental Union's mission is to serve as a hub for all undergraduate environmental activity, communications, and programming at Duke. They partner with environmental clubs, community members, neighboring institutions, Duke faculty members, administrators, university staff, and the larger student body to facilitate conversations and collaboration around sustainability on campus and beyond. UEU's leadership is a testament to the types of leader we need to do this work going forward to create solutions to the climate crisis, both inside and outside of the classroom. All 4 of these leaders show commitment towards building a better, more sustainable and equitable campus environment and have pursued environmental advocacy through many avenues. Chloe, Eugen, Nikki are all representatives on the Climate Commitment Advisory Council. Chloe and Coral have conducted environmental justice research in Basque Connections. Chloe shows interest in sustainable finance through her classwork and involvement in business-oriented women organization. Eugen is heavily involved in Duke Climate Coalition and does work with the Duke Campus Farm. Nikki is involved with the Wright and GUSA labs and is a representative on Duke Student Government. Coral advocates for the sustainable transportation and urban design as president of Duke's Urban Studies Club and is a 2024 Udall Scholar. These women show great potential as climate stewards of the future, and please join me in celebrating them. The next winner is Design Climate with Judy Ledley, Alexis Carpenter, and Helen Bertelli. Community engagement is now center stage in the funding of climate science. Phrases like community engaged team science or co-designed solutions are becoming commonplace. It is extremely important to recognize that just climate innovation is virtually impossible without the voices and ideas of our communities. And for good reason. Communities are at the forefront of the climate change experiences. To be effective, solutions must be co-created and bring prosperity to them. Against the backdrop, Design Climate finds itself in a unique position as a methodology, design thinking positions community at the core of its processes, and Design Climate is developing and field testing novel strategies to do so. From co-creating 3 blue economy technologies in partnership with NC coastal stakeholders to building solutions with the 12th poorest communities in the US, Design Climate is on the front lines of community engagement in this climate fight. Please join me in celebrating Design Climate and their focus on centering community needs. If you worked in sustainability and climate on campus, this next winner should come as no surprise. Felicia Wang, an undergraduate student, was nominated by Asher Wallen, also an undergraduate student. Felicia has been a leader for sustainability engagement in a wide range of roles throughout her time at Duke. She has demonstrated leadership in support of the climate commitment by coordinating the Project Earth Orientation Program as the program director for the last 2 years, after serving as orientation leader the first year it was officially launched. The week-long immersive orientation program seeks to connect first-year students with Duke and Durham community through multiple lenses of sustainability. It has been an overwhelming success in the last 3 years with over 100 students annually, reporting feeling connected to their community and building strong understanding of engagement avenues for climate and sustainability change-making. Among other programming in Project Earth, she has coordinated and facilitated environmental justice panels with community experts each year, enhancing the climate commitment's key goals and engaging students with intersectional climate and sustainability work. And in her daily life, Felicia consistently advocates for Duke to stretch and reach towards more sustainable campus operations. She's been a member of our Green Devils internship program, helped lead our Sustainability Ambassadors program, which is a first-year program for 30 to 40 students each year to learn about climate sustainability, and has played major roles in climate-focused student efforts from the Duke Climate Coalition, Devil's Thrift House, and Zero Waste K-Ville. She has also organized student-led climate rallies and protests around the country, not only on Duke's campus, but in other destinations, including most recently at the New York City Climate March. She's a true leader and a role model for effective and authentic leadership and for climate sustainability, and please join me in celebrating Felicia for her amazing efforts. And for our final winner, one of the best things that we got to do last year is actually go and visit Duke Kunshan University to start building connections with them. And so Duke Kunshan University is winning an award today. Shin Lee, Coraline Goron, James Miller, Emerson Meeks, Winona Kerming, Aisha Shen, Roger Fon, Christopher Von Velzer, Mickey Zhang, and Tiffany Zhang were nominated by Valerie Hausman, AVP for the Duke DKU Programming and Strategy. This group of nominees is composed of core faculty and staff members, students, and administrative personnel at DKU who work together to create climate and sustainability initiative at DKU in 2024. They have successfully cultivated and implemented a variety of exciting activities at DKU over the past year. Just a sample include creating 3 new collaborative research projects between Duke and DKU, involving more than 30 faculty members on both sides to work on the fundamental challenges of green energy, climate finance, and environmental policies. In collaboration with Duke, developed the first university-wide course on climate change to bring climate awareness to the younger generation. When the course first launched in fall 2024, 139 DKU students registered for it. Established the US-China Environmental and Climate Change PhD Fellowship to support Duke PhD students who want to work both at Duke and with DKU faculty members on environmental and climate change issues. Published the first sustainability report for DKU to analyze the sustainable aspects of the campus and discuss possible opportunities for future improvement, and hosted the Duke International Forum to invite academic researchers, policymakers, business leaders to exchange knowledge and brainstorm ideas on climate and sustainability. While many of these members are not able to be here today, they are with us in spirit, but please join me in celebrating this dedicated team infusing sustainability and climate work across DKU. That concludes our award winners. I would be remiss to not mention the Office of Climate Sustainability core team for all of their work. We are ineligible for winning an award, but they win an award in my heart. So I wanted to thank you, Toddy Tavy, Lindsay Batchelor, Matthew Kelly, who was my right-hand man in this entire event. Huge thank you to him. Tina Renfro, Sophia Masciarelli, Emily Bilsick, Katie Douglas, Blake Tedder, Matthew Arsenal, Emma Fulop, Norman Wurzba, and most recently, Brandon Hirsch. I also want to thank Page Tech staff, particularly Paul, Chris, and Nick, for making this event happen today. We couldn't have done it without you. But I'm going to pass it back to Toddy to wrap us up for today.
My hope is that in some way, shape, or form, you saw something up here today that you didn't even know was happening across Duke. You know, you think about the things that our staff are doing, the things that our students are doing, the things that our faculty are doing, and the other things that are happening out in our community. It really is an amazing blossoming of activity across our entire campus. And this is something that has happened within the last 2 years. Most of these activities that we celebrated here have been in the last 2 years. So I think it's really quite remarkable when you think about what can happen. Institutional change takes time. And those of us who engage in environmental, climate, sustainability work, you know, it's a war of inches. But on days like today, we really get to see the successes that have blossomed over time. And so how about a huge round of applause to all of our award winners, again. And a great round of gratitude to all of you for showing up and helping us celebrate these award winners, because it's the opportunity to present to you and to reflect that success that really means so much and helps propel us forward. So thank you all for showing up. I look forward to seeing you outside, and let's go outside and enjoy this absolutely gorgeous day. Thank you, everyone.